Alright, fools, I am going to inundate myself by starting yet another new series, just going overboard with this new gaming machine I built for myself a couple months ago. What I'm doing, I'm still doing Dwarf Fortress, and I'm sort of kind of weirdly looking forward to it failing so that I can start over with an update, because I'm still a couple versions back due to Mem Gosroff. Not to mention maybe the isometric add-ons and stuff like that. 2 different arcs, 7 days to die, occasionally a spore creation, if not the gameplay itself. So I'm overdoing it, and I'm going to keep overdoing it for a little bit longer. Now, one thing I've done in the past is try to record Stellaris back when I had the MacBook Pro, and I sort of succeeded-ish, except it kept not working either. And instead of, what am I saying, having to reinvent the intro sequence, because I think I'll be recording at the same screen size, I will just recreate the Leghk, who have long since disappeared. And let's see, create new. Yep. I should create a whole bunch of my own empires just for fun before I do this. In fact, maybe after I create this race, I'll go and do that off screen and then come back and finish the recording. But for now, let's record this part. So we need, I think they're plant fungoid. No. Yeah. No, not that either. No. So fungoid, molluscoid. Wait. Yeah, there it is. These are the closest to what the Leghk looked like that I was able to find in this game. And if you guys know what the Leghk is, and I know I've said this before, I will let you live. So let's see. The plural of Leghk is Leghk. The adjective of Leghk is lecky. And let's see. The Leghk are cool. I know that's not the greatest thing, because they like science and study and research and exploration and cheese. Also cheese. Next, let's see, fungoid. I don't recall that they ever had obvious names, so we can pretty much do whatever we want. That looks fine. So let's see, traits. I don't know what traits they normally have except for a couple, so let's get those. Intelligent, yes, that makes absolute sense for them. Industrious, I do not know. Thrifty, I do not know. Agrarian, I do not know. That wasn't really prevalent or obvious in the gaming ecosystem in which you would encounter them because you only see them briefly. Let's see, non-adaptive, habitable, minus 10%, habitable. Let's see, adaptive, blah. Rapid breeders. Slow breeding, rapid breeding, I don't know. Talented, I like that one. Quick learners, I like that one. But to do that, I will have to sacrifice pretty hard somewhere else. Sedentary, I can live with that. Repugnant. Ruler opinion impact, let's see. I think they changed that out from under me. Deviance. Other ethics attractions, fleeting, minus 10 years. Decadent. I don't want to have anything to do with slaves. Happiness without slaves. Wasteful. I didn't really understand this business just yet, but it really looks like I can't buy myself much. Minus 1. Solitary. Happiness can be overcome later. I don't know that they're solitary. Let's see. Repugnant, I don't really care for. Charismatic. Strong, no. Quick learners, yes. Talented, yes. Basically, these are a very sciencey bunch of peoples. So let's see. Oh, good. I don't know. Name, bloop. Mashgurg. Lemire, I don't know. I don't know. Color variants. They tended towards green, but that's not an option for me. I think they did. Yeah. So it's kind of sad this is as close as I can get. It would be nice if you could sort of do a spore-like thing where you invent your own race, or that they were randomly generated as well. Room. What's sciencey looking? That's kind of sciencey looking. That's kind of sciencey looking. How many rooms the frick are there? That's, yeah, we'll do that. Hairstyle, woohoo! I didn't know you could do that. They don't have hair. They should have hair. They should get mohawks. World name, also named Leghk. And the star, I don't know. Leghk. This is getting weird. This is tough. Let's do something that sounds similar. And I don't recall that we ever had any reason to believe it was one thing or another from their world, because I don't know if we ever knew their world. But they're free-floating, which might suggest that they come from either a place that is really calm or where floating is a boon. And I'm going to say it's a boon because dense jungles might be very hostile, and if they can float above them, well, that's a survival trait. Planetoid City. What do I like? I don't care if they match or not. I want whatever I like here. So then again, I like the Fungoid City, so we'll just do that. Okay. Again, I'm going to have to make some crap up here. Let's see. Xenophobe, not really. At first, they were quite the opposite. Was that a spoiler? Pacifist, yeah. At first, that's also appropriate. Robot, resource speed, yes. See, these are all appropriate. Would any of these others be appropriate that are opposites? Unrest -10. Resettlement cost. I mean, they were devoted to their science, so maybe I should do that. Okay, and then let's say oligarch, dictatorial, imperial. Hold selections. All right, meritocracy. Priesthood, that's not really their thing. Police state, not really their thing. Because, you know, though they become a police state later. Maybe, I don't know. Environmentalist, free haven, cultural, cutthroat politics. That's kind of interesting. Corporate dominion, Agarian, biddle. Shadow council. Election influence cost, influence. Mining guilds, efficient bureaucracy, that sounds nice. Functional architecture. Aristocratic elite and syncretic evolution. Does not have mechanist. This game starts with 4 pops being of another... Oh, no, I don't care about subservience. Building cost, I like that. And bureaucratic efficiency. Don't we have anything that's science-y in here? Were there options? Citizen science. Oh, citizen service, never mind. Philosopher king. Technocracy. Has to have some degree of materialist, huh? Alright, let's do that then. Mechanist. Aristocratic elite. Mining guild, shadow, corporate, free, environmental technocracy. Yeah, let's do that. Next! Name, empire name. The Grand Experiment. These guys are scientists. I don't remember what I called it in the previous attempts. I'm going to actually erase the any episodes that had involved the Leghk before, because I want a consistent experience for anybody who wants to watch this. Adjective. Experimental. I kind of like this. I like having stuff. Next. Bloop. They were green, so I'm going to have some element of green going on here. I do not like asymmetry. That I like. Let's see, blocky. I don't have anything that jumps out. Like the Veloxy or Velox from the same game would have a very hexagonal thing. So that would be appropriate to them, but these are not they. I might add them in the interim that I mentioned previously. Dominion, Humank, Ornate. Boop. No. They're not militant. Paradox, Pirate, Pointy, Rounds. Because really, for these guys, it could be anything. They don't have something strict. Zoological. And I suppose perhaps if it looked like them? No? This isn't really appropriate either. The original ones had a couple of antennae, like 3 antennae coming out the top. They were green. They had the sort of the head up here and then a tapering tail and then 1 tendril coming down. So, as I said, this is as close as I could get. This is hard. This is hard. Ornate, domination. Why does that say domination? The grand experiment. No. No. Not really. What the heck is that? Humank. Not entirely appropriate. Pirate, pointy. I'm sorry. You know what? Fractals. How about frickin' fractals? Next. Do we want a different color as the secondary? Like dark green? Orange? Black? Gold? I think just like darker green, you know, sort of slight offset here. Let's check out a couple more of these real quick. Not too many options that are symmetrical. Let's do that one. Next. Oh, yeah, missiles. They had what were called plasma bolts. Everybody had simple warp travel. So, or no, actually, they had hyperspace travel. And I don't want either one. Let's do wormhole travel. Ooh, and we got green ships now. That's an adjustment. Let's see, which one of these is most likely to look like them? Actually, these, I think. Which is too bad, because I end up using those a lot. But actually, it's appropriate because they are in the intro graphics. So yeah, that would be good to keep that. All right, we have the Leghk. I am saving the Leghk, and I am cutting the feed, and I'm going to make a whole bunch more, and then we'll start again. All right, you fools. There is so much more I could have done, of course. And many I could not do because there was nothing even remotely close to them, including, I don't know. Oh, you know, I didn't think of doing anything from Master of Orion. There's so many similarities, though. We'll just ignore it for now. So I'll add them some other time. I added a bunch from games I grew up on. I added some from my own universe that deserves to be written and not just in my head. So let's see. Let's start at the beginning. Just, yeah, you can see how many I've done. This took all morning. I've been watching movies in the background, like some, oh, I can't remember. Anyways, Foundation of New. The Nuge. Nuge are from my universe. They're timid little sea creatures. Quite nice, kind, smart, but they tend not to come out of their shells. Hence, I mean, again, this is not even close. Well, it is close to what it looks like, but not really. The Grand Experiments. This is the Leghk, which we will be playing as. They are from Starflight. And at first, they were called the Leghk, a corrupted and very violent form of the same. But later on in the sequel, you get to meet the originals, and they're quite cool. Hive of the Veloxi. Veloxi are also from Starflight. Again, this is kind of not that close to what they look like, as this isn't either, but it's as close as I could get. The Thrin from Starflight, reptilian, sort of dinosaur-like-ish. There were a couple that were closer, but I wanted to reserve them for something else, so I did this. Let's see, Garden of Elan. The Eloan are also from, and again, these are not like them. In fact, they have more of a melon head with giant eyes on the side, but we didn't have anything that came close to that. The Hopelessness. These are the Dweenal from Starflight 2. They just sort of meander through the universe, hopelessness for no good reason to anybody. They're just morose all the time. Nothing even came close, but since these guys had big eyes on the side and could be kind of pale in color, I went and chose them. The Holy Star Ocean. The Gazertoid from the original Starflight. This doesn't really look like them because they also have sort of a melon-shaped head and big eyes, but they do have tentacles and would resemble squid or octopi. And this got as close as we could get. They're very hostile, very hostile. Oh, well, we got descriptors here. I hope you've been reading those. I don't want to spend too much time on this clip. So, Spemen, not even close. They're just... If the Spemen were just like the top here with some tentacles coming out and maybe some antennae, that would be it. And they're purple, and this is as purple as I could get. Very timid. They expect to rule the universe, but they're too cowardly to actually pull it off. Sirvi, this comes from my universe. They're Sirvians or Sirwan. There's a couple of different names for them. They are actually plant people, and they only have 5 limbs. They're more like a starfish. Their brain is and mouth is in the middle, but they have 5 arms that have sort of a node or a thing that is a mouth on each of them, and then a couple of eyes and a couple more tendril-like fingers that come out. So they have 10 fingers all the way around, and they can reorient their arms to approximate the stance of aliens they may be encountering, and they like encountering them because they're merchants and xenophiles. The problem is they like trading in things that nobody else understands. So people don't take them very seriously, but they also aren't worried by them either. This is as close as we could get. This is actually not too far off my original artwork for the Velphori. And in the Velphori have no eyes. So we'll just pretend those little holes don't exist. But they have no eyes, and instead they're very sensitive to the magnetic field around them. And so they can see in their head through sort of electromagnetic radar. And their vision is strange because it has a range. It's instead of being directional, it's all directional, but only within a certain radius. And they can flex and constrict their vision, so maybe it's a oblong shape that points outward and they can see further away, or maybe it's just a sphere around them of a set radius or whatever. So they can literally see behind things or under things or in things, but they can only see so far. However, as a species, they can link up and expand their vision as a group. And so as a entire race, once they realized, okay, there's this rhythm on our planet that causes tides and stuff, and they started looking for what mathematically should be an object, and they eventually, as a combined race, they saw the moon. And that got them started, and they started using technology to expand their vision until they started brushing up against the nearest stars, and then there was still a limit, so they eventually had to start moving out to be able to expand their vision. And that's why I call it within the vision, because the way they see is very fundamentally different, and the way they think about things is based on it. Otherwise, they're friendly people. They're not aggressive or anything like that. The Project. This is also from my story, though it's trying to incorporate UFO lore in a plausible way, just to give it, integrate it. So you can see they kind of look like gray aliens, but not really. And they're actually an offshoot or a created race who were abandoned by dragons, which are a part of the story. Granted, this is all sounds very strange without context, but I put a lot into work into making this timeline plausible. And if I ever write it, you'll get to read it. But until then, you'll just have to take my word for it. So these guys they have 16 genders, and they can, over the course of just a couple of generations, make one gender obsolete and replace it with another that has a function, including the possibility of a gender that is a ship that the other's aboard and they travel to another world. They're very messed up, and they're very desperate to unmess themselves up because they were sort of an abandoned project. Not intentionally abandoned, but that's what happened anyways. And so they find us. They sort of set aside a copy of the Earth to screw with. And that's sort of the origin of our UFO lores, because they're taking genetic material, they're trying to figure out what's missing in their genes and take ours and see if they can make themselves more normal and able to function, peaceably with other species, because they're very xenophobic up until this point. So that's their backstory. And I don't want to get too into it because I'd like there to be some surprises left in my stories, assuming I ever live long enough to make them. Now we're getting into other material. Kazirza slavers are, in fact, the Urquan, and they're from Star Control. If you turn them upside down, you could sort of think that this looks like them. And they enslave other races, but they don't actually generally exterminate them. But their cousins, the Kor'a, do. And you can see they're the same. It would be really nice if this game, and it won't, but it would be really nice if this game would stick with the color theme that you pick, with only more subtle variations, but you had this overall theme you could stick to. But since it won't do that, once, assuming these guys show up, they'll start to look like each other, and there's not much. But they have some structural differences, cultural differences. And their past masters, the Dignari, also exist, and I couldn't come anywhere close because they look more like a toad. At least this thing has a similar stature, but it doesn't otherwise look like it. They're sort of mind control people. All three kind of dabble in slavery. Tealvian, this is getting back into Starflight 2, and these are like arboreal creatures. In the game, they're like Stone Age, but we'll advance them. Despite what they look like, they're actually they can't live without humor. They can't live without song. They just go to experience all the possible variations of humor that and frolicery that other races have been able to offer them. Let's see. Spore Worlds of the Mycon, back to Star Control. Kind of a bizarre race that it's not entirely... it is sapient, but not quite, because it doesn't often recognize the value in other life. They're very self-absorbed and just unaware of the other things around them. They're generally mushrooms. They actually more of a cup-shaped mushroom in the games, but I couldn't come up with anything in this that came close. So I just went with a generic mushroom-looking thing. Conflict of the Tendilo. This is from Starflight 2. They do not look like this at all, but this is as close as I can get. Their head, maybe, but they had like 3 eyes and tendrils coming off, but what can you do? A race of plant people. They fight amongst themselves constantly as if it's perfectly normal, but they like everybody else. So, yeah. Humna Corporation are the Humna. This is actually not too bad. If there were a blowhole right here on the top of his head, it would be perfect. Traders, merchants from Starflight 2. Klingon Empire, yes, we're getting into other things. You guys probably know what the Klingons are. Got the Confederacy of Vulcan. I'm not sure if that's what they're actually called. This symbol, the symbols, in these cases, they have established ones in the lore, and here we couldn't have them. So I just got things that were thematically similar and assumed, hey, time had passed and maybe a new regime came along and changed their logo. This one here is actually not that far off the Vulcan one, I can tell you. Markets of Tellarites. The face kind of works. They're brash, argumentative, mercantile people from the Star Trek universe. Azro, back to my stuff. You'll start getting into triples because of some part of the lore in my universe. Azro, they're kind of dragon. There's a lineage of like dinosaurid kind of things, so halfway between bird and reptile kind of stuff. Azro are very friendly, very mercantile, whatever. They love trading and people and stuff like that. They are actually bright green, but there was no no option. But they do have plumage and manes, so that was as close as I could get. Let's see. The Rykete are a cousin species of theirs that is more brutal, shorter stature, bulkier, and sort of honor-bound and a bit more xenophobic. And then the Rykete are more sort of like spiritualist stuff. So they're all cousin species, and they have slightly different proportions and colorations, and then just wildly different cultures. Also in my universe, the Korga. Probably the least sapient of all the sapient species that come out of it. They're very new, the sort of Stone Age kind of guys. They're like aquatic, like swampy riverbed area types. They're like hippos, except draconid. Again, most of the races are sort of this like variant off of dinosaurid stuff. They don't go out of their way to harass or harm people, but they definitely defend their territories staunchly and tend not to understand the nuances of other cultures. Their more advanced cousins, the Zerai, are still pretty much xenophobic and protective, but again, they don't go out of their way to actually interfere with others. They just want to stay away. And they're bulkier and larger and more powerful than their younger siblings. This thing got moved around for some reason. Romulan Star Empire from you know where. Commons of the John. Then again, another triplicate of species from my universe. The John are sort of lizard people. Kind of hard to tell here. I have artwork, but I'm not going to show it to you. They are pretty, let's see, distinctly draconian, blah, 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 self-betterment. They're pretty mature race. Their cousins, the Ulu John, often just called Ulu, are sort of a meaner variant, and they have sometimes either become symbiotic with or enslaved their cousins, the High John, or just High, who are the next. And the High are very giving, very friendly, almost like unaware of themselves as individuals, and that's why they're so exploitable by the Ulu, but at the same time that makes them quite approachable and friendly to other races as well if they happen to be free of Ulu influences. Forest of the Stars. I have elves in my universe, and I'm not going to explain why. They're related to human beings in a certain way, but they have pointy ears and more, I don't know, Native American-like sort of sensibilities in that they care about their environment and stuff like that. And they have a bit more of sort of like what you call psi powers, maybe more mental, cerebral than humanity, which in my universe are called kin. Instead, these are Fae, and the human types are called kin. But there are already some here pre-built in, so I'm just going to leave those alone. So let's see. Fae, you can see Illyri, but they're called Fae by others. Layer of the Soulless. These are dragons, and granted, it's kind of hard to tell here because the soloists are not winged. They're giant. They're like 24 feet at the shoulder, but they sort of have the stance of maybe like a horse or some cross between a horse and like a dog. They're on all fours with a long neck and dragon-like face, and they are intensely, intensely powerful creatures, sort of magically. Though it's the magic, air quotes, magic is based thoroughly on biology and physics. It's just that when you don't bother to explain it to people, it seems like magic. In any case, they're the original Earthlings. They're the first thing ever to arise into sapience on Earth, and there's a difference between sapience and sentience. I learned in the process of doing this. Sentience, pretty much any animal we know is sentient in that it is aware and, conscious and stuff. Sapience is when you can sit back and think and contemplate stuff, which is what we associate with humanity. Though we're starting to see it in a few other advanced animals as well, and may have to demote ourselves a little bit. But the solar dragons are the first ones that are often called soloists. They have a complicated history with the other two dragon types. The next one being clan dragons. They're much smaller. They're kind of like slightly larger than they're shaped kind of like velociraptors, and they have wings, and not six-legged wings. I mean, literally, their forelimbs are wings, not arms. But and they're feathery, sort of like again half on their way towards being birds, but not. And they're maybe 8 to 10 feet at the shoulder. So they're still bigger than human beings, but they're much smaller than the Soulless, and they are not related to them except for being in the same sort of genera of life. But they, unlike soloists that are like tigers that they only associate with each other during breeding time, clanners form huge societies, and that's why they're competitive with soloists, even though as individuals they're vastly weaker. And there was an intentional hybridization of the two, which led to pack dragons, which are more like wolves, and they have small packs but not entire nations worth of individuals. And they are so well refined at travel that they can literally survive traveling through space as themselves. And I'm not going to get into the mechanics of that, but they're sort of this like exploratory hybrid between the two races. Let's Let's see. Interstellar roots of nutritious soils. This goes back to Star Control. There's something called Supox, and literally the name for their world was Earth, but their translation was perfectly good and nutritious soil was the name of their planet. So I expanded on that. They're very nice people. They're kind of halfway between a mantis and a plant. This was as close as I could get. Gridmarch, also from Star Control, the Druge. The Druge in the game are like these ugly purple demon people that are fat and they're being held up by chains, which I don't know if you can see my cursor, but there are chains in the background. These guys, I did not offer a purple option, but they did have the kind of horns and face, so I went with it. They're very greedy, self-absorbed people. The Yeehaw, also from Star Control, won, I think. They're more like pterodactyls or pteranodons. There was no option for that, but if you can imagine that their wings are like folded behind them out of scope, then their face shape is about right. Very noble, very honorable, combative people. Their distant cousins, the Pakunk, from a later version of that game, are more purplish, but again, they have this very blocky head like this instead, but obviously that wasn't available. And they are not combative at all, and they're like spiritual and even psychic. Thraldom of Thrad, also from Star Control, sort of more like a hippo. I mean, they had this sort of shaped face, but they didn't have the horns here. It's more like little tendrils coming down, but they're kind of like hippos. And they're very combative, and they gain respect for you if you defeat them and stuff like that. Very ugly xenoforms. This is one of the more perfect ones. The Vux from the original, and actually I think all 3 Star Controls. They think everybody else is horribly ugly. People think they're ugly. They get insulted really easily, whatnot. And then honorable, show fixity popularity. Mostly I wanted to have populousness, but that was awkward. They're like little fox cat people. They have, in the game, they have a Japanese style to them. They're Bushido. Self-sacrificing warriors, kind of small, and they breed incredibly rapidly. They went almost extinct in the game. And then later on you can practically bring them back to a full empire size in a matter of months. So I added them. There's so many more I could have. Like I said, I forgot all about Master of Orion, which deserves the attention. I'll add more later. But what I think I can do, I was clicking on this, empire spawning allowed. But if I do this, forced, Poppy will always appear in a regular game instead of a randomly generated empire. So if I just do this, then I can be guaranteed that these guys will show up in my universe. Whoops. And whatnot. So that means if I haven't already wasted an entire episode just getting set up, I'm just about done. I would like... Actually, you know what? Well, actually, I don't think I can turn on or off... Whoa. Any of these guys. I think I'm going to be stuck with them anyways, because I can't delete them. I can't edit them. Well, maybe I can edit. Can I edit? It looks like I can. But I don't want to worry about it now. I just like to get rid of them. I didn't bother installing any ships. Like, you can get Federation and Klingon ships and stuff like that, but those things are a little unstable. Oops, I missed one. I figured just having the races would be interesting enough. Give, homage to various games that I have adored over the years to my detriment. Okay, good enough. I have no idea how long that took to record. I'll see if I can't get us started, though. All right, here we go. I am the Leghk, as I have been the last 2 times I've tried to record this, and then somehow I had it peter out. This time, however, hello. No. Thank you. Do not do that. This time we're going to continue through the end, whether I win or lose. I've never won this game. I've lost frequently, but not always. But the game is kind of unwinnable. I mean, it is winnable, but not in a pleasant way. Let's see. So let's get started. we'll treat the last 2 clips as sort of like the pilot episode or pilot precursor to the episode and make this one extra long, because I want to have some actual gameplay in here. Right, so let's see what we got. I want assist research. You know, since we are a scientific species, well, no, because at first I'm not going to be doing this. So how about sensor range? See things a little bit further away. I want biolab, because growth is going to be important if I'm going to succeed. And mineral capacity, engineering facility. Minerals +5. I want minerals up the yin-yang. We will increase our speed because we can, and we will get science started. And if it's alright with you, I'm going to get a science ship going too. Let's see. Research. We're going to need this. And this. And if I'm not too unintelligent, I will not... Yeah, I'm too unintelligent. Alright, let's get this party started. Okay, so I got a science ship. I need a science person. Let us recruit somebody who does interesting things, like less risk of failure. That would be phantasmic. I am a
tile blocker clear.
Yes, thank you. I am a teleporting species, so let us go to here and explore this, what is likely to be a new world for us.
System survey complete.
System survey complete. System survey complete. Move on over here. We will do our best to make a narrative or a story out of this, because I need to do better at making these videos entertaining. And this is material. This is the sort of game where you can really extract stuff out of it. You know? So, discovery of alien life. The ISS Stellaris Kamin Ta has made a startling find on EFAL 3. The planet is teeming with alien life. For the first time in history, we have encountered life forms that did not originate on Leghk. This amazing discovery has silenced those who believed we were alone in the universe. Although none of the alien creatures found on EFAL 3 are sentient, it is likely only a matter of time before we encounter beings that are. Do they mean sapient? I mean, are we talking about bacteria and plants? Because those aren't sentient, but cats are. Anyways, let's see. So at first, this is going to be flying by, so I'm not going to have many pauses, but I'm going to just record one whole clip and then edit out the very few pauses that happen. The Cybrex. We have recently recovered artifacts from an alien civilization on Cephalback 4. Incredibly, this civilization, which apparently referred to itself as the Cybrex, seems to have been made up of machines that were linked together in some sort of collective consciousness. Speaking of creatures I could not create, all the races that are mineral-based or electronic-based I could not do. I want those in the game, Paradox. If you could put creatures like that in the game, I would... I mean, I know you can create mechanical ones, but it'd be nice maybe if you could start as one. Without adding a mod, that is. Anyways, seems to have been made up of machines that are linked together in some sort of collective consciousness. The age of the artifacts indicate they were active some 600,000 years ago, in this portion of the galaxy at least, but we have learned nothing of their exact origins. According to the partial data fragment that our scientists managed to extract from one of the artifacts, the Cybrex at some point launched a crusade to destroy all sentient organic life in the galaxy for unknown reasons.
Situation log updated.
Or even reasons unknown. Hello, contact report, simple forms of life. The grand experiments, okay, so in the future reference, don't put the in there. Is a buzz with news of the alien organisms discovered by the ISS Stellaris Kaminta some time ago. These little evolutionary marvels kindle in the Leghk people a renewed hope for first contact or of first contact with intelligent beings. Oh my god, they're going by fast. Maybe I should slow this down. I mean, on the previous computer, that was not a problem. Intelligent life taunts with pointed absence. Reads a popular Newsnet post on Leghk. Apparently I have a space, because you can see right there. The people of the grand experiments, we will visualize away. I demand all of you fail to see the original. The grand experiments are apparently finding some humor in the fact that lower forms of alien life are now a matter of public record, but potential equals from other stars continue to elude us. The science officer Kadtad's report on the traces found on Back 4 seemingly only add an ironic twist to the situation. What does that mean? That whole exchange sort of got me out of nowhere. Woo! This is a smoother game than I recall, and I cannot make any stations yet.
Anomaly found.
Anomaly found, and at 40% I am 100% guaranteed of failing. That's the way these things go in these damn games, so we're going to leave it be for now.
System survey complete.
Hello, Efall. How are you doing? Let's explore something a little bit closer to home. When I get the money up, we're going to start colonizing, I'm telling you.
System survey complete.
System survey complete. Please do the same over here. Comet sighted. A small celestial object with pronounced gaseous and particulate trails was recently observed in the Merc system. Merc. Its potential was uneventful, but I got some unity out of it. And I apparently gained a unity level thingy. Traditions. Let's see. We must expand our civilization to new systems and planets or risk eventual extinction. New colonies start with an additional 1 pop. If we do not impose our will on others, they will inevitably impose their will on ours. So we can get plus 20 to acceptance when diplomatically subjugating other empires. I don't think we're going to do that anytime soon. It's not really the Leghk way. The Leghk perhaps, but not Leghk. There is no better indicator of the success or failure of a star nation than the strength of its economy. So here, mining station build cost goes down by 33%. That is very important to me, but I'm going to check out the others real quick. Few things can match the strength of a content populace working towards a common goal. The happiness of all pops is increased by 10%. I like that too. It'll be hard to choose. Our first one, border range increased by 20% if the future of this galaxy belongs to those who are strong enough to seize it. Orders are going to be very helpful later, so I'm definitely not going to ignore that. Diplomacy. The surest way to destroy your enemies is to make them your friends. I particularly agree with this. Everybody out there, even if they are your worst enemy and greatest terrorist, is only doing it because they really believe in it. It's really important to them. So trying to understand them is a great way to sort of disarm them and get them actually working with you instead of against. Now, it won't work for everyone because you do have a few nut jobs and a few like sociopaths, though a sociopath is defined as more as someone who's perfectly willing to abuse and consume people for their personal good. It's not personal, it's just that people are literally fodder and they don't see them as worth anywhere close to themselves. That's completely different from psychopath, where what they need is to hurt people. In this case, it's just hurting people's fine. Anyways, that was a tangent. Diplomacy. Sure, yeah, I already got that. Diplomatic influence cost reduced by 50%, and your trust growth increases by 33%. I'm going to want that soon. Discovery. Our curiosity about the universe is what got us this far, and there is still so much left to discover. Initially, minus 33%. I'm going to start with that. Yeah. Damn straight. I am a science species, so build
System survey complete.
Yes, thank you. I should have waited. Okay, let's see. Go explore here. Construction ship is going to need to work on this. Later, that should be about $60 instead of 90.
Situation log
Hello.
updated.
We have encountered some form of alien vessels in the Betria system. These strange objects have been flagged the Alpha aliens. Oh man, my headphones keep almost falling off. So if my volume is going up and down, it's because the mic is getting further and closer to me. Do we want to care about this right away? Let's go for it. 10 months. At later stages in the game, that would be almost instantaneous. Ooh, we got another one.
Anomaly found.
Anomaly, 0% failure risk. Let's see, we are...
Construction complete.
Yes. Maybe I should include autopause if that were possible. We are receiving a weak signal from the surface of this planet, and the source appears to be some kind of tracking beacon. Go ahead and research it. Looks like we also have the opportunity to build something here. Get your mining on.
System survey complete.
Oh gosh. Scientist Tad. Holy crap, monkey cheese whiz. has gained a level up to 3, which will certainly improve things. A small short-range transmitter has been located on the surface of Brandenburg 2. It appears to be an ancient survey marker placed here eons ago to mark a large deposit of precious metals. The miners it was meant for evidently never arrived, as the deposit is still here. Fascinating. +4. So that world is going to be valuable to us. Science ship number 1. How about Sapad? Go explore Sapad, please.
System survey complete. Special project complete.
Excellent. These were the ones I was just researching. Tiyanki. The spaceborne life forms, which the Leghk head of society research has come to refer to as the Tiyanki, are docile creatures capable of accessing some lower dimension of subspace. They roam from system to system with remarkable ease. They graze on the gases common to the upper layers of many gas giants. It is highly unlikely, to say the least, that this is their only food source, but intake of other nutrients has yet to be observed. They will rarely, if ever, attack. Even when provoked, they can safely be ignored. Hunting them would be a net loss anyways. The Grand Experiments determines that we can get frequency tuning out of this, whatever that means. We'll find out in a minute. Science ship, how about you go over here? Explore in opposite directions.
Research complete.
Hello, research. I appreciate you. Minerals +5, army +5, new research. Ion thrusters to get us around faster. That helps gloriously when it comes to, surveying systems. Cuts the time down a fair bit.
Construction complete.
Hello, construction complete. You've built all the things.
System survey complete.
And that. Let's see. We don't have a lot of research opportunities, but let's take this one. Oh, actually, let's take a look. Yeah. What's a pretty little planet? Sethelbag 3. We're going to leave that alone, because as soon as we land, any work we'll have put into putting a station there will be eradicated anyways. I wonder if that's the case here with Efal. Yep, same thing here at Efal. Another planet. They always make sure that there's a couple like my world near me to get me started. But here we've got Toxic World. So kind of Venus-like. What else have we got? We got a molten thing, Toxic World with rings, and a barren moon. We've got a... Oh, my eyes. kind of itch. Large barren rock, another large barren rock, and another large toxic rock with a moon that is barren. And yet another large toxic rock. Ooh, frozen rock. That's amazing.
System survey complete.
System survey. The Farragon system has been explored. Please head now to Carenza.
Research complete.
Oi. Let's see. Sensor range plus 50% unlocks gravitic sensors. Next up, research speed. Oh yes, research speed. Amazing, please. Yes.
Research complete.
Oi, butts. Biolab 1, good for growth. Hey, look at that. Also good for growth. Growth speed. We want to expand. Studying the entire universe is going to take a lot of bodies. A leader has gained a level.
System survey complete.
Which one?
Anomaly found.
Hello. Which one are you? Oh, so okay, the new guy. Let's see, we have detected life signs coming from somewhere beneath the barren and lifeless surface of this planet. What manner of organism could possibly live there? Let's find out. What else we got? Anomaly. Oh, another snow. And we got another tradition available. So let's see. Before we choose anything else, the number of science and medical officers has been increased throughout the fleet. So we get science recruitment costs. I can survive without that. Anomaly risk fail reduced by 10%. Anomaly discovery chance increased by 15%. A new age of exploration is upon us. You know what? In this early stage when we're doing lots of exploring, that is going to be important to me. So let's do that. I want to get all the boons. Silicon life forms. Some kind of burrowing silicon-based life form inhabits a vast network of tunnels beneath the barren surface of Miraculous 6. As best as we can tell, the creatures feed off rocks, and there is evidence to suggest that they possess a rudimentary form of intelligence. Their tunneling efforts have shuffled large amounts of valuable minerals to the surface, which increases to +3. Science ship, I need you over here at the Taram system. You know what?
System survey complete.
What? I thought I had paused. Okay, well, go here. Go here and do this thing. Construction ship, can you boost our capacities, please? Oh, 180. Thank you very much. Oh, that's right, because the +4 is there. Habitable World Survey. We now know without a doubt that a thriving biosphere is not something unique to Leghk. Both the scientific community and the public at large are eager to learn more about the various forms of alien life found throughout the galaxy. Efforts to catalog the life forms we encounter are already underway, but our xenobiologists have urged us to focus our planetary survey efforts on habitable life-bearing worlds. So yes, let's do that.
Situation log updated.
Given my surveying expertise, that may not take very long. So here's the galaxy we will be studying as a species. You haven't gotten very far
survey
at all,
complete.
and that's not at all
Anomaly
surprising.
found.
Hello. Let's see. What is this one? Massive storms are visible in the upper atmosphere of this gas giant. It might be worth the effort to study them in more detail. Yes, please do. Meanwhile, Taram has been fully explored, so we're going to head back over to Baldur. How's that sound?
Construction complete.
Thank you, thank you. We should take a look at our world and see how things are going here. I'm going to actually... Let's get a few more of those, because they're almost always a pirate insurrection at some point. And let's see. How are other constructions going? What have we done? Let's see. I only actually not that long ago learned that you can shuffle these guys around as needed. Extreme storms. Naranka 1 frequently experiences massive and extremely violent storm systems in its atmosphere. Several dozen persistent storms are visible from orbit, with winds often reaching speeds in excess of 700 meters per second, which I can't translate in my head. The cause of these storms is not immediately apparent, as we have found nothing on the planet's climate model that could explain them. Our scientists are interested in studying the anomaly, so what it means is it is now a point of study. However, not being within our borders, we're not going to be able to do anything about it just yet. Let's see here. Suppose we can get cracking on this
System
stuff, right?
survey complete. Anomaly found.
Gosh. Let's see. The debris field, which BK5U46 is part of... Oh, the debris field which is a part of rolls and swirls under the influence of unknown forces. Failure risk 10%. That might... I have probably a 50% chance of getting that one. The way these numbers work. All right. Let's explore here, please. Which one is that? Dressel. Up is down. That was a foreboding sound, but this looks good. As the ISS Kalim Ka passed through the asteroid belt on its way to BK5U46, Science Officer Kutad, that's a really hard one to say, Kutad, reported that the ship experienced a number of sudden gravitational shifts. After ever curious, Kutad dispatched a number of probes to scan the debris field to discern the cause. It turns out that the culprit is a number of gravity generators of old alien make, sputtering on dying energy sources, and with their profiles or polarities actually inverted, of course, they occasionally spew reverse gravity into the void though not with enough force to cause any serious harm. Not anymore. Science Officer Kutad theorizes that the generators once provided artificial gravity for a large asteroid in the belt, but some malfunction eventually tore the rock apart. Physics research gained and engineering research gained. Those will feed into my current projects.
Complete.
Hello.
Construction complete.
Hello again. 14 months, 28 months, 1 month remaining. Okay, I am back. I dropped out to see how much time I should record. Maybe another 10 minutes, maybe 5. We've actually done a lot. Time goes
Research
by when
complete.
you're having fun. Research is complete on the not at all surprising ion thruster. So, new research, please. Let's see. Corvette, engineering facility, research, you know, kind of important to us, though. I don't value those that much in the early stage. Fusion missiles. I wonder what fusions are. I am, of course, joking. Mineral storage capacity, plus 1,000, mining network 2. I find this kind of valuable because we need the industrial foundation if we're going to be able to proceed out amongst the stars with fervor. Alright, we're back again. After I've done some further adjusting, I found out that the background sounds were quite loud compared to my voice. Good to get this out of the way early. These nonconformists will be dealt with. Certain irrational and criminal elements of our society have left Leghk to seek an outlaw's life in the far reaches of space, which are actually quite close. In a display of surprising ingenuity, these brigands have been heavily modified and weaponized to a large number of civilian ships. Okay, I messed that whole thing up. Our civilization shipping lanes, civilian, holy cow, shipping lanes are now being raided by this impoverished Starfleet, which identifies itself only as the Ghost Flotilla. Or is that Flotilla? A prompt response is needed. I can do that. Where the heck's you is? Did I not have it paused that entire time? Construction ship. I've made more ships, and actually, I should improve on them. So here's our base craft. Here, the automatic stuff is almost always good enough. We've improved our thrusters and our tracking and sensor range. Well, that's about it. Yes. Let's do the same on all the rest. I forgot it's not automatic. So here's our colony ship, or construction ship, colony ship, science ship, which is the one sort of featured on the cover. Transport ship. I don't use these very often. And defense platform, which doesn't get a whole lot of benefit except from the sensors. And I don't have any yet. Where are these? Well, actually, let's up. No. Okay, stop. Upgrade, please.
Ships upgraded.
Oh, you know
Station
what?
Under attack.
What station? Recruit an admiral. Let's see. Fire rate plus 8. Combat speed 20%. Is that like movement speed? Ship upkeep minus 10%. Well, they're not expensive yet. So let's just do this simple, let's shoot faster business. And assign them. And they're assigned, and we will zoom in on them. Is there a base here? Oh, that's right. I have it set so when the base is finished, or there is a base, the marker goes away. So let's zoom in. Hopefully, you know what? I might... Well, I don't care about the speed.
System survey complete.
But just last long
Anomaly
enough.
found.
Oh, for crying out loud. Dressel system. The surface of the asteroid is littered with metallic debris. Most of it appears to originate from starships of many different designs. Yes, please research it. In fact, actually, how about you go on to the next thing, and you, I'm going back to you. Click, 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 click. Thank you. Let's follow their progress. Okay, good. We've distracted them. This should be relatively easy. We've lost 1 or 2 already. 1. Looks like 1 is all I'm going to lose. Junkyard! Oh, that's what I was just studying. This asteroid was evidently used as a junkyard by someone at some point in the distant past. All manner of discarded machinery and metallic refuse have been deposited inside the asteroid's weak gravity well. Being slowly pulled into the jumble of debris that now covers the surface, there is nothing of particular value to be found here, but a lot of the material can be salvaged by a mining operation. So yeah.
Situation log updated.
And I won a small battle. Very good. Do we have a clue? Oh, yeah. You know what? Come research this. And then why don't you upgrade? And you guys go repair, and you produce their replacement or their added dude. Let's see. I want to expand my power plant capacities, and here as well. Very, very important. This is one of the things I tend to run low on in the early to mid game. Actually, sometimes in the late game as well, especially when trying to mobilize large fleets. It's very expensive. So I should be on the hunt for their base, their origin point.
Construction complete.
Hello, construction complete.
System survey complete.
Hello.
Ships upgraded.
Hello. Very, very fast progress, folks.
Research complete.
Oh my gosh. Okay, what have we got? Research speed. I like that. Point defense observatory. What does this do? Planet sensor range plus 50%. Physics output. All of that is very nice. This, however, is nicer. I'm going to do this anyways because it's rare.
Debris analyzed.
Debris analyzed. We have analyzed the debris in Betria. Deflectors plus 10% progress, nanocomposite materials plus 10, afterburners plus 10, physics research plus 20. So these last two just contribute to our speed. These will probably have opened up more advanced projects that I wasn't already doing. So let's see. You need to explore your next star. Hopefully you'll find... Whoa. Actually, before you do that, why don't you learn or upgrade your ship?
Ships upgraded. Construction complete.
Now go explore. Doesn't look like the place where the pirates
System survey
were
complete.
going to
Anomaly
be.
found.
I found an anomaly. Life signs have been detected coming from inside the atmosphere of this gas giant. Could indicate the presence of some kind of biosphere. I think I know what mission that might be, and I think I find it annoying. Let's see. Next, scan this guy right here. Oh, actually, first, upgrade.
Research complete.
Hello, 2 upgrades. Let's see. Mineral capacity plus 1,000. Mineral network. See, nano composite armor. I just learned about this, and afterburners. Both of these coming from what I just saw. It's about time I bulk up a little bit. That's fine. Naval capacity plus 10. Border range plus 20. I like that. Pitharin dust. Food output plus 10%. Frontier clinic. Growth speed plus 10%. That's always a big deal to me.
Ships upgraded.
Oh. Another ghost flotilla. This one a bit high for me. And Bradham has a base. Although one I can probably... No, it has two bases. Alright, we need more firepower, please. I hope they last long enough. Hello. Gosh, I'm just being pummeled. We have discovered a thriving ecosystem in the upper atmosphere of the gas giant, Talandra 2. Massive floating creatures having evolved bodies filled with lighter-than-air gases, probably lighter than context gases, follow the wind currents and feed off the energy released by the gas giant's frequent lightning storms. These beings in turn support colonies of smaller animals that prey on atmospheric plankton and each other. Come on, make those ships, make those ships. Okay, we got one. Let's do that. Probably lose at least one, maybe both from the looks of it. Hello. Traditions available. Planet survey core. Gain research points equal to a tenth of our monthly gain when surveying planets. That sounds good to me. Yeah, because like I said, early game I'm surveying a hell of a lot of planets.
Mining station lost.
Both of them lost.
Hostile fleet engaged.
Oh, take them out. Ooh, that was quick work. Oh, and I got my little extra buddy here.
System survey complete.
Good.
Situation log updated.
Here, can you guys survey that? And you guys go repair thyselves. And I really should close this off soon. But as yet, I still don't know where that enemy base is. Oh, science ship. How about you explore here? Now, how much money do I need? Colonize 30. I'm almost there. So, in a moment, I will start this going. Here's 242. I need 360. So, one more month, and then I'll go bankrupt. Or broke. Anyway, it's not the same thing. Oh, wait, it's there. I'll have 1 credit or 1 unit of mineral afterwards. But Leghk, colonize. Thankfully, we don't have a lot of divergence yet. Okay, this is a good spot because it gives bonuses later on. Every one of these things can receive a bonus. So let's do right there. Etal Prime. I'm called Leghk. Lex Etal. EFOL. That's what I meant to say, right? Okay, good enough, long enough. I'm going to pause it. I'm going to say thank you for watching. I'm going to say you sure as hell had better come back, otherwise, or else, for my next one. Thank you for watching.